I'm Antonio Centeno, the founder of Real Men Real Style. Today I'm going to be talking about which tie knot for which occasion. All right, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. By doing so, these videos will come right to your inbox. In addition, if you enjoy this video, would you click on the like down below? That helps me know if these videos are useful. And finally, if you want to learn more about what I'm talking about here, go to the article I linked to down below, because at that article, you'll find a lot more useful information. This is the question that came in. Hello, Antonio. I discovered your website, Real Men Real Style, and I think it's great. Thanks. I have a question about ties. Basically, what is the best tie knot to use for any occasion I go to? Example being, is the Windsor knot for formal events? Is the 4-in-hand? Is that for casual events? I hope you'll be able to find time to answer this question. Many thanks. To get right to the question, there actually isn't a right tie knot for a certain occasion. I take that back. The only one I can think of is for black tie. And when something says black tie, that means that you should be wearing a bow tie, one that you actually tie, so don't buy those clip-ons. But besides black tie events, which we very rarely ever go to, anytime you need to be wearing a tie, you can wear any type of knot that you want, as so long as it doesn't detract and pull away and make you look a bit eccentric. That's one thing, you need to be comfortable with it. So right now I've got a 4-in-hand, and it's not the straightest knot. I know this. I'm not going to retie it multiple times. This is a knot that I love. It's the first knot I ever learned to tie. I had a job, I was sacking groceries at Albertsons, and this was back in 1990, I believe. And you had to wear a tie and a white dress shirt. And this was the summer I learned really how to tie a tie, because every single day on the way to work, I was tying that thing, taking it off at lunch break. And I've got a connection to this tie. I love it. So this knot in particular is the one I use probably 98% of the time. Now that 2% of the time I'm throwing in something, because there's a lot of other knots out there, and perhaps you'll find one that you like because maybe it looks good with your head shape, with your neck collar type. Maybe you'll want to go with a half Windsor. You'll want to maybe go with a full Windsor, a Pratt, Shelby, Cavendish, the simple knot. Honestly, there are almost 100 that I know of, almost 100 knot types out there, and I'm not going to get into them all. I could probably, actually, a book has been written about this. I'll do a review on this book and link to it later. But to answer your question again, you'll hear, and you'll actually see me write about this, there are knot types that you can try to match with certain types of shirt collars. So right here, I've got a medium spread collar. Technically, I could be wearing a half Windsor or a Windsor, because those are going to fill up the top space a bit better. But I still like the way the 4-in-hand looks. I don't think it's overwhelmed by the size of the tie space I have up here. Although there are men with larger heads. And because they have a larger head, or they've got maybe a lot of hair on that larger head as well, they need a larger knot for it to look proportional. So that's probably the key thing you want to think about, is what knot is going to look proportional. So if you've got a really small, thin head, you want a small knot, because if you wear a Windsor knot, and if it's something that you've got a very thick tie, that knot in comparison with your head is just going to make your head look smaller. So think about that, and also at the end of the day, you want something you're comfortable wearing. So if you put it into a knot that you've never worn before and you feel people are staring at you, well, you're not going to perform. You're just going to feel nervous. And whenever we feel nervous about something that we can control, that's a bad thing. To summarize, there isn't a right tie knot for the right occasion. It comes down to the right tie knot for you, what you feel comfortable tying, and what you feel looks good with your proportions and the clothing that you're wearing. All right, this has been Antonio Centeno with Real Men Real Style. Go check out the website, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.